What's up?
Hey, we're live.
What's up, YouTube?
How's
Like,
it
comment,
going,
subscribe.
everyone?
Smash that subscribe button. How are you? Hello. There's a chat box. If this is anybody's first webinar with us, there is a chat box on the right side. At least for me, it's on the right. There's a little question button. You can use that to ask questions later. We'll let people filter in. We'll get started in a couple minutes here. Um, yeah, how's everybody's day? Has
Happy
my
Thursday.
Yeah, it is. I thought it was Tuesday this
It
morning when I was
feels
getting
like
my
a
coffee.
Wednesday to me.
I'm glad it isn't. I'm glad I was wrong.
This week has flown by for me.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely can
surprised.
fill
I
up.
woke up this morning like, oh, it's Thursday. Hello.
Yes, Russ. What's up, Russ?
Hey,
Uh,
Russ.
cool. Yeah, where's everybody? My favorite question. Where's everybody coming in from? That's always like fun to see where people
Where everybody's joining
are
from.
sitting. South Florida. Being in
Where are you
Chicago,
joining from, Steve?
I'm in Chicago, Illinois, where it is currently 32 degrees, a balmy 32. Which is better than the 10 that it's been for the
Yeah,
last few days.
I'm in Milwaukee. It was negative. What did I post earlier this week? Like
Oh,
negative
like negative
16.
10. I remember double digits. That's
Yeah, it
not
was too
fun.
cold. Too
Gosh,
cold. I thought
just
we almost skirted through this winter without having weather like that, and then
nope.
just as soon as you trust it.
We should be so lucky.
Oh,
Negative
Lisa,
32
negative
and
32 in Idaho Falls. No thanks.
yeah, I mean, you're great. That sucks.
Yeah.
Unless you like that, in which case maybe it doesn't suck. I don't know. Hey, Milwaukee in there too. Sunny and 79. Now summer. That's what I'm talking about. Um, Cool. All right. Well, first of
Yeah.
all, thank you
All
everybody
over
for
the
coming.
place.
There's about 80 people in here right now, from clearly all over the country and all sorts of temperature, differently temperate climates. And we're just happy you're all here. We love doing these things. We're going to be doing them more often now that things are kind of settling down a little bit. Um, but yeah, so the purpose of today is really just last year was super duper busy for you, the print shops, and every other shop, whatever you're doing, right? You and your business, we were super busy too, and we just wanted to make sure that some of our cool releases didn't get lost in the shuffle. We wanted to make sure everybody knew about them. So today, Jess, primarily Jess, but I'll be here too. Hey, we're going to go over some of the just sort of our feature highlights from 2022, even though we're 1 month into 2023. But you know, we're so happy to be here. Another cool thing, not to tease too much, but at the end uh, of the presentation, we're going to tease a couple things that we have coming out soon, and we're really excited to show those things off. But yeah, otherwise, if you have questions, we'll get to what we can. We have a couple Printavo folks in the chat, including but not limited to content professional Luke Gardner, implementation also professional Matt Marcotte. Um, who will, like I said, answer what we can if we don't get to something or if we miss something, because sometimes this chat goes just like crazy fast. Just hit us up at support or success at printavo.com. Whichever one, right? We'll get to you. Anyway, with that said, Jess, I will let you take it away and I'll just lean on my counter.
Awesome. For those of you folks that haven't been to one of our webinars before, I'm Jess from the customer success team here. And I don't know if we introduced Steve. Steve is he's been with Success. He's been on the sales team. He's kind of all over Printavo. Now he is working on product education to help support our team, support you guys. So I'm super excited to take you through some of our major releases last year, some of the things that are really helpful for your shop. And I'm going to take this through the way that it would flow from order entry all the way towards the end. So it's not in any particular order in that sense in terms of release dates, but more in terms of, how this helps you from the top to all the way at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
One thing I'll say while you're pulling that up, Jess, just this is being recorded. It's just like the webinar thing does it. This, if you miss anything, if you're joining late, no big deal. This will be available for you to review kind of whenever, right? You can use this link. We're also going to put it up on the old YouTube. So and we'll send like a follow up too. So you'll have plenty of ways to see this if you missed anything or want to see something again. So we got you covered.
And if you lose the link, those two emails we mentioned earlier, success@printavo.com or support@printavo.com, we can always send any resources that you guys need that you're not able to find or having trouble with. So
Yeah.
let's stay in close contact. But what I've done here is I've started a quote just because, that's typically where we start order entry, where we're entering our customers. And we have quite a few things that help the sales team and with order entry that were released last year. So I've already gotten an order started here. One thing we can note is that this is probably what we would consider a rush order, and I'll cover adding rush fees here in just a second. But one thing that we've added back is going to be unlimited pricing matrices. We did have limits before on some tiers. We've just went ahead and given pricing matrices in an unlimited format to all accounts. So that's pretty new. I just have this pulled up here. If you guys have questions about uploading your pricing matrices, creating a pricing matrix, or even how to build a pricing matrix, Luke has a really amazing tool that you can use. I'm sure some of you folks have received it from my team before, where you are able to plug in your shops numbers and it'll give you a matrix that you can use to upload back into the system. Now from here to upload a new matrix, you're just going to click new matrix. You can either upload one using this format. One thing I do want to point out is that it does have to be in a templated format so that our system knows what it's going to be putting into the matrix. So make sure you download that first, save it as a CSV and click upload. Or if you're feeling really ambitious, you can go in and manually add in a matrix from scratch. All you have to do is click add row to expand on the quantity and your price breaks, and then adding columns is down here. All of your product markup percentages. One thing I do want to point out about the matrix with that is that it needs to be at least 100%. Otherwise, you're giving your customer a discount on their goods. If it's customer supplied goods and you're doing a contract matrix, just set that at 0% and you'll never have a markup percentage on your products. Now, the next thing that I want to point out here is how to add a matrix to your order. So you can see here that I've already gotten started on adding imprints to this job. I'm just going to go ahead and click imprint. We see the details here. This is going to be a front left chest and a full back. I'm able to pull from that list of matrices here. If we had more than just a couple listed, you'll have to scroll through to pick the matrix that you wanted to use. Once you've done that, you're going to add all of your details, click done, and then you're going to refresh your pricing. That's going to pull in the live price from the catalog for the garments, multiply it by your markup percentage, and then add in your print cost. The next thing that I wanted to highlight is going to be our mockup creator. It's super important to have your imprints applied on your order underneath of your line items with your line item group. The reason for that is as soon as you have your imprints, regardless of if you're using our matrices to price or not, you still want to have your imprints applied for two reasons. One, to be able to use the mockup creator, and two, the power scheduler needs the imprints to be able to work. So that's something that I'm going to be highlighting later. And you can see our types of work that are applied to each of these individual imprints. You can also, let's say I had, like an embroidered sleeve. So I'm going to do embroidery matrix. Our type of work is going to pre-populate here. And that is, again, something that'll cover during our power scheduler portion. And those are able to be applied using or saved using your matrices here when you upload them. So you can select a type of work here to have it automatically populate. Now, our mockup creator is highly requested. We created this early last year, and we found some really amazing usage stats on this. Steve, you had those, right? It was what, like?
Yeah, it's about 45,000 mockups have been created since we released this in April. So less than a year. It's about 5,000 a month that get made.
That's
which is
awesome.
bonkers, but very cool. So
Yeah,
we're
very
happy.
cool. We're super excited about it.
It's really fun to play
Um,
with too. I like it.
Now, the things that you need to do to be able to have your mockup creator work, the first one is you want to pull your product from the catalog. So as you saw on our last screen, I typed in a BC 3001, which is a pretty common t-shirt, or rather a 3001. So that's pulling from SNS or Sanmar. I think Alpha Broder is BC 3001. So you do want to make sure that you are pulling from the catalog, first of all, but second of all, using the correct item number to be able to pull in the product from the catalog. Now, once we're here, you can see the 3 line items that I've created. Now, if I had any additional colors, you would be able to cycle through that line item. So if I had like a Carolina blue, and let's actually just add one really fast. We're going to do a line item. Let's do a 3001 in white. And we'll just do like 10 of these. And go back to our mockup creator. So you're going to be able to see that we're able to cycle through those different garment colors. Now, from this very first one here, we have all of our imprints loaded over on the right-hand side. So you are able to save one mockup per imprint. You can save multiple mockups per imprint, but if you wanted to have like your front highlighted versus your back highlighted, what you're going to do is click into each one of these individual buckets, and then that's where the mockup is going to upload. The first thing that I want to show you is adding our design is really easy. You can do any image file type. I'm going to start with our PNG here so I can show you guys our background remover tool. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this. And you can see that this comes with a background, right? And so what I'm going to do is place this. We're going to do our left chest, left pocket. And all you have to do is click color erase here in the upper left-hand corner and then click into the background, which is then going to remove it. You can also do this for like the innards of, if it's going to be a logo like this that has like an A, V, or O, similar to how I just showed you. And you can click into each one of those individually and it's going to remove that background. Once your placement is correct, your color's erased, everything looks good, what we're able to do is click Save Mockup, and it's going to add that to that imprint location.
Jess, if I could
Now,
just jump in for half a second
sure.
here. So I bring this up because I do this all the time when I'm playing with this tool. Is if you goof up and like say Jess accidentally erased the P of Printavo, in the top right of the mockup creator, you have an undo and redo for your last steps, right? So this is a newer release because what used to happen is if you messed up, you had to start over, and that stinks. So now you can just click that undo, and you're good.
Perfect. Now let's say I wanted to do the same thing on a different color garment. All you have to do is click onto that specific line item, make sure that your placement is correct, and then click new mockup. And that's going to save that color to that imprint. Now, if I were to do a back, I'm going to click on my imprint number 2. We're going to click add design. And let me show you guys, if we upload an SVG or an AI file, you are able to recolor the logo. So I just have our basic Printavo logo here. And I'm going to just put this on our back by clicking this back button, or clicking the background image, rather.
The back of the shirt, by the
The
way.
back of the shirt. So I'm just going to place this really quickly, and you can see this is white on white, probably not something that we want to print. So you can click this recolor tool. You're going to click this little button here. And let's say she wanted to see like a red on white. I'm able to go in and select from this color selector to be able to select the correct color that we have here. I'm going to click out. We're going to click out of here again. And now we have our mock-up and our logo or image saved in a different color. From here, I'm just going to click new mock-up again. It's going to save that to imprint 2. And then all I have to do for this very first garment here is going to be new mock-up. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. There we go. And then let's say I need to recolor this back to white. All I'm going to do is go back into our recolor tool, drag that over, click out, and then we have that same mockup and placement. I'm going to click new mockup. It's going to save that to that second imprint. And then you can click back to quote. All of those imprints that you've created now save under the line items here and also under the imprints as well.
And something I'll just jump in on quickly here is because the the mockup creator saves the images to the imprint, but also the line item. The line item, if you're using Printavo merch, is the image that transfers to the store, right? So if you're building a store and you're just like kind of want to fire one out real quick, you can use the mockup creator, save that, then generate the store. You've already got your images.
Awesome. Now, scrolling down from here, the next release that we had this year that is super helpful is going to be our preset invoice fees. So previously what shops had to do was put their invoice fees into their own line item group or just have those grouped by themselves. Or you would have that in the fee box, but when you exported it to QuickBooks Online, it would just kind of go into like a miscellaneous tab. What we've done is we've given you the ability to have all of your fees as a line item with categories and a description similar to your line items, but they're grouped out and removed from your quantity at the bottom of your invoice. You can also have fees that are automatically applied to your order on, an every order basis, like we have here with handling, screen fees, and shipping. You can remove those if we're not using those, or if you wanted to, you can also add additional fees from a drop-down menu here. And I'm just going to go ahead and select Rush because Elle needs this quickly. And we already have our 5% applied to this order. If it's not going to be a shipped order, you can delete that off. Maybe if you're not charging them for screens, it's built into the price, or you can re-add those later. So it does give you the ability to save those to your, account rather than as a custom product.
Yeah. And Jess, could you just scroll down just a little bit to show the gray box underneath? A little more.
I can't scroll any further. Which gray box are you referring
sorry.
to?
Maybe. Sorry. What used to happen before we had these fees is that if people added fees as a line item, which made sense, then they would be included in the quantity of the shirts. So let's say you were printing 100 shirts and had a rush fee and a handling fee, your quantity would say 102. That's not correct. That caused a lot of confusion.
Right.
We don't do that anymore. So it's broken down now. Sorry, I was looking for the wrong thing. But in that box, you'll see now there's an item total and a fee total, and it completely gets rid of that confusion.
So we have this feature disabled in our demo account. It's the show total quantity. So if you wanted to remove the total quantity from your order, it just doesn't populate at all. But if you had total quantity at the bottom, what Steve is referencing is the line items the fees would calculate into the total quantity at the bottom, which would lead to confusion for your customer.
Yeah.
So we alleviated that issue with our saved fees.
Yeah.
To be able to save your fees, what you're going to do is you're going to navigate to My Account and head to invoice fees. It should be right around the invoice statuses fields. And all you're going to have to do is click new fee to upload a brand new fee. This fee box, the initial fee box, is going to be what is considered your category in Printavo. So similar to your drop-down menu, those export to products and services in QuickBooks. Your description is going to be that description field, similar to the description box in, on your line items. You can either do an amount in a dollar amount or a percentage-based fee. And you can also have this show by default or have it automatically taxed or untaxed. Once you've saved that, it's going to save into this list here. And you can either edit them from here or archive them if you no longer want to utilize that fee. Awesome. I am going to go ahead and save this. We're going to send this out to Elle for approval. And I want to show you guys our new decline feature as well, because this is something that I haven't seen too many folks using. It was a kind of a quiet release last year. We did release, some literature about it, but I feel like most of the accounts that we touch and most folks that we speak with had no idea that this was a feature. So I really wanted to highlight this. So we have our automation set up here for, quote approval sent. It just emailed and texted Elle for approval. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and, as Elle, decline this. And, we need 25 XL. I'm going to go ahead and decline. What that's going to do is it's going to, on our end, move this into a declined status. Additionally, it's going to email the requester this information here. So we have an email and text set up under our automations, which is going to be here. So that as soon as something is declined, it changes the status. And then it also sends an email and a text to that requester. Um, so those are two options that you can do for your declines. And you can do that for any, quote approvals, art approvals, any of the approvals that you have in the system, you can automate for your declines now.
Yeah. So just to sort of reiterate, the decline, if someone declines any type of approval, that is now an accessible trigger for your automations. Because again, your automations, it's a trigger, the trigger's an action. So you now have that trigger that says when a customer declines a whatever approval, take any of the available actions. So send an email, send a text, fire off a task list, right? Do any number of things. So super duper useful. And again, a more quiet release that we wanted to highlight
To
today.
highlight. Another one that we have here, let's say if, we sent out this order for approval to Elle, and she didn't receive it, she hasn't looked at it, we can lock down that public invoice to offer additional security for your account so that their invoice is protected. Here we go. So this is what it's going to look like. Where you're going to find this is under invoice information right here. So where you would add the total quantity, where you would, change your terms and conditions, all of that is down here at the very bottom. And what you can do is select, it auto defaults to anyone with the link, but you can put private email link here. What happens is that quote gets protected by this screen. And what the customer is going to have to do is enter their email to be able to view it. So I'm just going to enter John at Doe and click view quote. Now, once I've entered my email, or once the customer's entered their email, it's going to give them access to that order for the next 3 days. After 3 days, it's going to, stop being visible again and have that security screen so that they have to go back and add in their email again.
Yeah. So just to clarify, if the it's sometimes a little confusing. So let's say I sent the quote to Jess, and I have my email protection on, and Jess is my intended recipient, and she's accessing this with her email. She's good, right? If she steps away from it for 3 days, she'll have to enter her email address because she is my desired recipient. If someone else gets it, they have to know who the recipient was, right? So that's all.
Just added security for your customers.
Yes.
Another thing that we added for customer, communication is for our merch stores. So one thing a lot of folks had been asking us for a really long time is a contact and customer contact here at the bottom. So, what we typically have is your contact information at the bottom of your merch stores. What we also needed was your customer's contact information. So over here on the left-hand side, we gave you the ability to add in your customer's information. So let's say it's like the school's coach or the team's coach, rather, whoever opened the store, they're the person that they really want to be working with their customers. So we have their information down here, including all of their socials. Where you're going to add that is you're going to click into your store's dashboard. We're going to start under more actions and then click settings. If you scroll down just a little bit, we have optional custom store contact, and then that is where you're going to be able to enter that individual's information, including all of their socials.
Yeah. So again, if you're, just to reiterate Jess's point, that if Jess is the print shop and I'm running a softball team, right, and I send this merch store link out to my softball teammates, right, instead of Jess getting all these questions about the order, I can get the questions about the order, right? It saves you a ton of time from being like, I don't know when your next game is, right? like ask Steve. So that's the purpose of that, to cut down on the teammates or the parents of the students or whatever emailing you when you're probably not the best point of contact for that particular situation.
Exactly. Awesome. Now, another thing that we've added in merch is going to be the ability to turn off your fulfillment email. So those of you folks that have been using merch for a while know that once you copy all of your orders to an invoice, you click more actions and then, mark all as fulfilled to be able to mark the orders as fulfilled on your dashboard. So what you can see here is this is marked as fulfilled. Any of our orders that are unfulfilled, what you can do is click into that order under more actions within the job is the ability to mark it as fulfilled. Previously, what that would do, or currently what that does, is it emails this customer that their order is ready for pickup, it's shipped, whatever delivery method you've selected. Now, if it's consolidated into an invoice, that's going to email all of those customers that their order has shipped, it's ready for pickup, whatever. So what we've given the ability to do is toggle off that email so that the individual who's the store contact is the one that is able to reach out to their customers or their teammates or whomever that their order is ready for them. To toggle that off, you just navigate back to your store settings, go under store information, make sure this is toggled off if you don't want to send those emails, and then scroll down to click save. This is a feature that's on a store by store basis. So if you have like 10 stores open at once, you can have 2 that are emailing the customer and the rest that aren't. And we do give you the flexibility in choosing, pick and choose when that happens. Awesome. Not seeing too many questions about that. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to our power scheduler. Now, for those of you folks that haven't, seen the power scheduler, your power scheduler is going to be only available on the premium plan. What's it called? So it's only on the premium plan, and you're always going to find that on your navigation bar on the left. Some of the steps that get us to utilizing the power scheduler is going to be under my account under workflow customization. We do give you an out-of-the-box solution with screen printing and embroidery with some steps already selected, but you do want to customize that. The benefit to using the power scheduler is it gives you the ability to take one invoice and split it off into multiple departments without sacrificing your status flow. Because your power scheduler or because your invoices previously, I might have embroidery, DTG, and screen printing all on one order, but I don't have the ability to have that order in multiple statuses at once. So what this does is it gives you the ability to have an order with multiple statuses. The way that it's split up is going to be based on those imprints. So earlier when I was, going through this order with Elle, I set this up to have all of our print locations split out between imprints. So it's going to be imprint 1 and imprint 2. Once I send this to the schedule, so we have this set up, let's say this order was approved, I can put this into art approved and that sends it to the schedule. Additionally, you can just add something to the schedule. Let's say this is like a 15,000 piece order. I'm going to want that on my schedule even before it goes through that art approval status so that I'm able to plan for capacity. Which is another benefit to utilizing the power scheduler is that it does offer capacity planning with the ability to mark down how much time this job is going to take you. Within the order, then what I'm showing you here is the schedule within the job. So at the very top, your sales team can look over the schedule and see, okay, maybe this customer is looking for an update. They can quickly and easily navigate to the schedule to see exactly what's going on with production without walking to the back to talk to your production manager to see what's going on with this job. Now within the scheduler, this very main screen, I like to reference this as kind of like your production manager's view because it's where you're going, where you're doing all of your scheduling, you're assigning everything to specific machines, you're mapping out how much time each individual job is going to take, and you're able to see any of your jobs that are unscheduled and unassigned. Unscheduled means that we haven't scheduled it. Unassigned means that it's not assigned to a station or a machine, right? So you can have like auto 1, auto 2, auto 3. You can name it by person. So maybe it's, Yvette, Matt, Steve, and they can be stations as well.
Some shops even have names for their machines, which I always find entertaining. So if you're not doing that and you're looking to spice it up a little bit, feel free to name your machines.
Additionally, you can put all of your types of work in here as well. So you can have screen printing, embroidery, DTG. We've got signage, all of those can be uploaded into here and all of your imprints will get funneled into your power scheduler. Now down below, you can drag and drop these up and down. You can assign a date via a drop-down menu. We can add the time. You can assign a station. Once I've assigned a station, this is going to funnel underneath of assigned but unscheduled. So you can see all of our unscheduled but assigned jobs here. Over to the left is where we can assign a date. So let's look at this order. I can see the dates here. I know that the production due date is February 7th and the customer due date is February 10th. So I'm going to want to schedule this job before the production due date. So we're just going to go ahead and, I mean, you can look down below to see like what your capacity is over the next couple of days. Today is not a very good example for the next 3 days because we're going into the weekend. So let's look at next week.
Yeah. Just a pleasant reminder.
Now, I'm going back to this job that was due on the 10th, and I can look at all of our upcoming schedule. Right now, I don't have anything scheduled this next week, so I can just put this in wherever. So I'm just going to go ahead and assign this to, it's due on Tuesday. Let's go ahead and run it for the 6th. That's going to funnel down below, and you can see that I have 300 out of 600 assigned minutes. From here, you can click into the imprint, and this is something that your production manager can look at and see all of the imprint information, any of the details that your sales team has submitted, all of the dates assigned, you know, exactly where the job is at. You can leave notes on this order. So if you wanted to leave a note for another team member, you can, and that is not customer facing, it's all internal. And then down below is going to be your production notes and production files. Now, once everything is scheduled and assigned, we also have our list view, which is going to give you the ability to see all of your jobs and exactly where they're at from a high level. So we can just go ahead and scroll through and see every job that's been sent to the schedule and exactly where it's at. This is a demo account. It hasn't been updated in a while, so I'm sure yours would look a little bit different, and I would hope that most of these are green. But one of my favorite features and something that I think it's overlooked often with the Power Scheduler is going to be saved views. So let's cover that really quick. My favorite example is using this for the screen room because you are able to really whittle this down to where they're only seeing exactly what they need to see and nothing else. So, you know, I'm able to, they don't care if there's neck labeling. They don't care if there's bagging and tagging. They probably don't care about the status, printing, you know, ink, garments. We can take these and just pick it up and drag them around, or we can toss them out of our view. You know, the customer date, we're probably not super concerned about. I do like the production date, quantity we can remove, how long it's going to take, where it's being printed. All of that can just be really consolidated down into this view. And then now,
And Jess is literally just clicking and dragging these off the
yeah,
screen and get rid of them.
you just pick it up, and as soon as it's picked up, it turns into like a little box that has a and like a crossed out eye. So you know that you're just kind of like tossing that out of your view. If you ever want to bring something back, just refresh your page. It's not something that saves automatically. But once you have saved it, you are able to, you know, go through and see like everything that you whittled down. From here, you know, you can see that I have jobs that have been labeled as finished. And what I want to do is just like our calendar, we want to remove those jobs so that we're not seeing that in our list. Right. So yeah, you can filter specific statuses off. So like right now, if anything's done, I'm going to remove that from this view. And as an example, we can mark that as issue in progress. We're still able to see that. And then once it's finished, it goes away. To save this, all you're going to have to do is click this plus sign here and then click Save View. You're going to name it and then make that either visible to myself or visible to everybody. So if you're saving this view for everybody to be able to log in and just click into their view, that's where you would do it. Otherwise, if you wanted to save something for yourself, like you want to see everything that's production complete, you know, or everything that maybe has an order issue, you can leave that and save that for yourself. And then Matt's also mentioning here, if you wanted to remove specific views, you can do that from here as well, where you can just quickly toggle those off. I think it's fun to just throw them.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to take, you know, a minute to just bring everything back or remove them, you can do that from this view as well.
Jess, may I add just two things?
Sure.
Real quick. So number one, you'll see those like the step statuses that Jess has referred to a few times. In this particular view, it's everything that kind of says not started. Those are internal only, right? So if you think about, you know, your job statuses, and if you use that, what's it called, the public profile view, where the customer can see like, oh, this is in production, right? They don't see these step statuses. So if something's janked up, your order got messed up, I don't know, you just totally messed up, right? Or something happened. They have no idea because they just see that blanket invoice status. They don't know what's going on with those step statuses. Completely internal. Number two,
That's a
with
great
those step
point.
statuses, those can also trigger automations, right? We mentioned automations earlier, but you can say like, hey, when printing is finished, I'm just looking at this as an example. Send Matt Marcotte a text message that says, "Hey, you're not so bad," right? or something, right? Like probably more productive than that. But point being, you can use those as automation triggers, just like you could with the like the decline trigger or the approval triggers, etc. It's true. Once a day, Matt, I send you that text message. You're not so bad.
One of our favorite examples for that is I have issue here selected for printing. If you have an issue on press, you can have that text your production manager that there's something going on and there's an issue.
Yeah, that's a big one. Sorry to
Yeah.
jump in, Jess. That's just
No,
something
thank
I
you.
like.
Sometimes I get like really in the weeds about what I'm talking about and I forget to walk it back. So like, yes, the step statuses are going to be, I didn't even cover step
Yeah,
statuses.
power scheduler is pretty big. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. But I mean, once you start using it and once you implement it, it's just like when you implemented Printavo. It does take a little bit to get used to. It's a little different than your workflow, but once you start utilizing it, it is really helpful in staying organized.
Yes.
We do have a lot of resources about this. Matt created a really amazing 10-minute long video that just gives a brief overview of the Power Scheduler. And then underneath of that is also a ton of information about how to set it up, best practices, utilization, how it all works together, automations you can set with this. And I know that they're going to post that in the comments. Thank you,
Yeah, I
Steve.
just reposted it. I posted it earlier, so if you're getting it twice, sorry for the spam, but there you go. Awesome.
And
So yeah, anything you need on the power scheduler is on that article. I think let's move on to the next one.
oh yeah, and then one last thing, you are
Oh,
able
sorry.
to export everything to CSV. So if you're one of those folks that loves to take everything and put it onto like a spreadsheet, you can. All you need to do is right click into all of your jobs here, and you can either export it to CSV or Excel. It's going to automatically download, and you're going to have that full list of everything that you're looking at here.
Awesome.
Awesome. The last thing that I want to cover today is going to be payment collection. So this is a huge release for us. We're super excited about it. We have a lot of different features that come along with our new embedded payment system that a lot of folks may or may not have seen yet. So we're just going to head back to our order that we sent to Elle. All right, and this is declined, but let's say we approved the order. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into our public invoice view here. I'm going to approve this job. Now, this is an automation. This is something that has been set for a long time, but you are able to automate your payment requests at different point in the timeline of the job. Once your customer clicks into this, one thing that we have given you the ability to do is first of all accept ACH, which is huge. One of our top requested features over the last 5 years that I've been with Printavo. Additionally, what you can see here is that this order has reached a certain threshold. And so the only thing that this customer sees is ACH. So once you sign up for embedded payments with Printavo, you are able to select from, here we go, from our payments page. If you scroll all the way down, you can say once a job reaches a specific amount or a specific threshold, that we disable credit card entirely, and the only option they see is ACH. So yeah, that's a mandatory ACH threshold. Now, you can also do full and partial refunds in Printavo now, whereas before you would have to leave the system, go into your payment processor, process the refund, figure out how to calculate everything out in Printavo. You don't have to do that anymore. All you have to do to process a refund is simply go back to your payment section. If this was paid via card, over here, there's going to be a refund button that populates. You would click it. It turns into a pop-up window similar to adding a payment, similar to this. It'll say, what the refund reason was. If it's full or partial, you can type in the full amount and then click update. And then this updates as a refunded amount. I don't have I should have found an example, but I can definitely send you guys a video about
Yeah.
this
There's
for
some
something that
screenshot
happens with your
examples
client.
in. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say there's some screenshot examples in the second link or the most recent link I just posted in the chat. I'm pointing because it's there on my screen.
That's a great
But it's like tough to like fake payments, right? So, but there's some screenshots in there. It's super easy. It's literally like, do you want to refund all of this or just some of it, or did you not mean to click this button, right? Like it's very straightforward, super easy. Yeah, that's it. It's like easy, right?
Awesome. And let me just show you guys what this looks like because I know this is our deposits page. This is another thing that is an added improvement is the ability to see all of your deposits and payments in your financial section. So once your customer checks out with credit card or ACH, all of those will get batched together on a daily basis. And you're able to see all of your daily deposits underneath of financials in Printavo. You're going to see your fee schedule, how many fees were taken out versus what your gross was, and then also what the full deposit amount was, all of the invoices that were related to this. And then as you scroll down, I have like a refund here that's processed, or you can see all of that information. This is a demo account, so it's not super clear on what this actually looks like. We should be able to click into all of your invoices from your payments page. But again, all of that's going to be on that that refunds link that Steve posted. And then lastly, you can manage your disputes directly from Printavo. So underneath of your payments page here, if you're signed on with embedded payments, if you click payments and click manage disputes, what that's going to do is take you to a portal where you're able to log in to see all of your disputes, any of your, hopefully you don't have any of your e-check returns, any of your disputes, and you can also do higher level reporting through the portal as well.
Yeah. And if you ever have any questions about like payments or something like looks not the way you're expecting to, just email support@printavo.com because we're your people, right? To help you with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if
Awesome.
you have any questions about the payment processor or embedded payments, feel free to reach out to us at success@printavo.com. We've been able to chat with a lot of our shops about the migration and what that strategy looks like and answer any questions that you have. So we're happy to continue those conversations.
Yeah. And speaking of conversations, we actually have a special guest here today. We have Yona,
Yes.
who's the product lead for our payments thing, payments thing for our payments team. I don't know why I said payments thing, and he's actually going to show off some really cool and exciting fun things that are coming because like we sort of set up top. We wanted to cover some of the things that we've done in the past, but we also want to show off a few things that we're working on now. So, Jess, if you want to bring Yona in, we'll let him do his Yona thing.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
Yona.
everybody.
Hey, Yona.
Yes, thank you for including me. I would love to show you some exciting stuff that's coming out soon.
Thank you for being here.
So let me just get this screen shared. And you should see momentarily a window with what looks to be a checkout. But alas, there's more going on than it appears. So yeah, thanks for the great introduction. I do lead product efforts related to payments. And so part of my job is listening to requests from customers and talking to people like Jess and figuring out what y'all need from us so that we can build those things and get them to you in a timely fashion. So I was asked to show off something fun and exciting that y'all have been asking for a while and that we believe will help you tremendously. And so I'm kind of giving you a sneak peek into the process of how these features come out to you. There's a whole process involved from design through engineering, testing, deployment. It's pretty complicated. So what I'm showing you here is a slice from our design process. So you're going to see me walk through kind of what our design team hands off to me and then before it gets to engineering. So this is a bit early and there are a couple of things that might change, but this is more or less what it's going to look like. And so without further ado, I'm walking you through the various stages that Card on File will go through to get from me to you. So what you're looking at here is a checkout. And actually, let me pause for a moment. Why would you care about this? That's a great question. Thanks for asking. In phase one, this is a large effort. It'll be broken up into a couple of phases. In phase one, we'll basically give your customer the ability to save a card, and then you'll be able to run it on your end for like an outstanding balance, for example. So it'll make it much easier to chase down payment when that situation happens. In phase two, building on top of that, we'll give the customer the ability to actually log in when they're looking at a public invoice, store their card, and then run it again in the future so they can pick from a set of stored cards, run it. And this should make it, frictionless to check out, much easier for repeat orders and things like that. And then finally, in a third stage on top of that, we'll build on all of those features to bring statements, which will be a way to essentially bulk pay multiple outstanding invoices using a stored payment method, such as what I'm about to show you. So without any more explanation, I'll just show you what it looks like. So first of all, it all starts with the checkout. And then in phase one, there won't be a customer account necessarily. This will just be tied to like customers in Printavo. So you're checking out and you can click this button, authorize future payments, and then you make your payment. When that's done, the card will be stored. Actually, the card itself isn't stored. There's a lot of security mechanisms at play here. I'll try not to get too into the product side of things here and focus on what you actually care about. So you store the card, you pay, and then in Printavo, under a customer record, you're able to go to payment methods and you'll be able to see a set of stored payment methods, remove them, archive them, restore them from being archived, basically a variety of ways to manage these methods in a secure way. And then when you're actually looking at an invoice that has an outstanding balance, you're going to be able to hit plus payment, which you should all know how that works, except instead of being limited to a manual payment, you'll actually be able to run a card that's stored on file for the given amount. And you'll be able to leave a note for your customer, basically explaining why you're running the card because they might not realize what you're running it for. So once that's done, they would receive an email with the fact that you ran the card and the little blurb that you entered there in the field explaining why you ran it. And then finally, in your order history for a given invoice, you'll see that payment logged here, and you'll always be able to refer back to it and see why you ran the card. Maybe it was someone working at the shop. Maybe they mistakenly ran the card. You should always be able to come back and uncover why it was ran so that you can refund it if necessary. So that's phase one. That's the first building block to getting card on file out. And then, of course, the second building block that I kind of prefaced here is the customer account driven experience while you're paying on a public invoice and how stored payment methods will be handled with that. So this is what it looks like, what it will look like when you're on a public invoice after this update. So you'll have a way to create an account or sign in. Let's go through creating an account. So you've got your email, add a password. And then if you've previously gone through this view, the first one I showed you where you click the checkbox to save your card, it's going to show up here and you'll be able to pay. Now, before I click pay, I want to point out the payment request that you're paying was for $19, but you can see under that almost $60 would still be outstanding total. So let's pay the 19 and that pays it down, but you've still got 38 roughly outstanding. And what this is where the benefits to you start to come into play, because it might seem like this is mostly a benefit to your customers, but actually they're able to pay ahead on whatever is remaining outstanding on that balance. So they can just elect to go ahead and pay ahead, use that same payment method, make a payment, and then you'll see that everything was paid. There's no remaining outstanding balance on that. And in Printavo, you would see the two payments as well. So let me move on. Of course, they'll be able to check out as a guest. It's really the same workflow. They can check out as a guest, hit card, continue to payment, fill out their payment details. And actually on the next page, if they don't have an account yet, they'll be able to create an account and opt in to save that payment method for future use. And then on top of that, they'll have to give authorization for you to actually run it on their behalf. So that's 2 steps. One is just to save the card for their own use. The second one is authorizing you to run it on their behalf. And then, of course, there are a couple of associated workflows, creating an account. What does that look like? Adding your card for the first time, saving it, having that stored there, right? Nothing too exciting. Editing a payment method. So you'll be able to come in here and you'll be able to view what payment methods you have stored there, switch to your ACH, switch to a different stored card, continue. Adding a payment method. So you'll be able to, from this screen as a logged in customer, add a new method, whether that's card or bank account, fill out the form again, authorize it, and there it is stored again. And, I don't need to walk you through all of these, but essentially they'll be able to reset their password. They'll be able to view their payment methods. So here, I showed this already. Let me see if there's anything I haven't showed you yet. Request payment. Oh, this is a good one. So this is kind of getting into the statement side of things. This is something we're less far along than the other things I've showed you. So this is more likely to change over time. But this is kind of a first stab at grabbing multiple invoices and applying a payment towards them from a stored card. And yeah, so that's the exciting new stuff coming out. And I guess the first half of the year, it's a little difficult to give you an exact estimate on when. Definitely in the first half of the year, and we're shooting for sooner if possible, possibly Q1 if we can.
Yeah. Thank you, Yona.
Yeah.
Very, very,
Thanks,
very, very
Yona.
cool stuff. Super. I didn't even actually know about all that. So that's like, hell yeah, right? That's great. So
I'm
thank you
so
for sharing
pumped
that.
on the saved card on file. I think it's going to be super, super helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're really
and
pumped too. I can't wait to see how you all use it and what kind of feedback you'll have for us too.
yeah, 100%. Well, thanks, Yona. You're welcome to stick around for the last couple minutes here.
Excellent.
One final thing we wanted to share with you. Abby, who is another one of our product managers here at Printavo, she's unfortunately out of the office today, but she wanted us to share something that she and her team have been working on super duper hard. I'm really excited about this. I've been with Printavo almost like 5 years, and this is like, I'm like real pumped about this. Is Jess, if you can reshare your screen.
Oh yeah.
Please.
Abby
Yeah.
couldn't be here with us today, but she did
Yeah.
shoot over a screenshot.
Yeah.
One thing that we all know that definitely needed improvement needs improved upon is going to be our search feature in Printavo.
Yeah.
Being able to partially search, being able to misspell something.
Yeah.
We
Just a
haven't been able to do
smarter search more fields, see what, just see where your results are coming from. So Jess, if you pull up that screenshot, that would be
yes.
very cool. And while Jess is doing that, I'll tell you that if you're
There we go.
interested in helping us beta test our search feature, Abby is looking for shops who are willing to beta test this feature, who are willing to jump on a Zoom call if maybe things aren't going 100%. Hence, the beta testing portion of it. But here's again just a screenshot of kind of what it's looking like so far. So the example I always hear. Abby give is, you can search for Kate and like it'll find Katie, right? And maybe Catherine, right? I might be like elaborating a little, but again, just a much smarter search with more, with clearer results of what you're looking for. So again, if you're up for beta testing that, we're going to send out an email early next week. On how to sign up for that beta. I'm going to make sure that the attendees of this webinar get first digs at that, just because you gave us your time. It's the least we can do. And if we need to open it up more, we'll do that as well. And this is going to be really, really cool for everyone. Very excited.
Yes, super excited about this. And like Steve said, we are looking for beta testers. One thing that we are looking for are folks that are okay with things breaking with search. So if you have a day that you might not be able to search for your invoice numbers, we'll be able to hop on a call with you to resolve the issue and figure out what's going on. We're completely revamping our search. So it would be really amazing if we had some signups. And again, we will be sending out a sign up form for that. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop our sharing here.
Oh, sure.
Thank you guys for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
It's
Seriously.
really exciting. If you have any questions, concerns, want to chat about anything that we shared today, feel free to email us at success@printavo.com. My team is always happy to meet with you guys and chat with everybody about anything.
Yeah, and like we said, if you happen to join late, missed anything, just want to watch this again, this will be available to replay. I believe it just reposts on this site by default, but
Yep.
also we'll get it up on our YouTube channel, um, and we'll, I don't know, just make sure you can watch it.
Yeah.
So thank
Definitely.
you. I think that's it for us, and like just to be a broken record, like Jess said, if you have any questions, success@printavo.com, support@printavo.com. We are here to help. We're happy to help. Thank you, Yona, for jumping in. Thank you, Jess,
Yeah. Thanks, Yana.
for driving the train, and thank you to everyone in the chat room for being here. And with that, I think we're done.
I think we're done. Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.
See you
Thanks,
later.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.